start this off 17 minutes into the live stream. That's how we're going to do this. So that's what we need, 17 minutes in. We're going to say the live stream starts. And prior to that, loading. All right, so 20 seconds. Let's make sure that we got all the system in check, just so we can get all the cylinders firing right here. Let's make sure here. All right, so right now we are at the coverage of UFC Fight Night Moicano versus Duncan in the main card, and we're also going to talk about a fight card that happened earlier today. Boxing. Deontay Wilder getting a win against Derek Chisora. Now, who would have imagined that? Well, I tell you what, Deontay Wilder was not the favorite going into this. At least I didn't think so. Okay, I didn't have the slightest confidence in Deontay Wilder whatsoever. Okay, this is like this is on. Hold on, let's all right, are we on? Are we on? Let's get back on. Mic check 1 2. Let's get right back on here. All right, are we back on? Check the audio. Are we back on? Okay, let's try this without the headphones here.
100% you're going to be in the conversation.
All right, mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Okay, all right. So we got to probably lower that down a little bit. Okay, all right, perfect. So we are on right now. Okay, let's restart the stream on the 20-minute mark. Okay, because obviously we were just a bit on the loading phase right now. So, okay, we're going to start off the stream in just about 60 seconds or so. All right. Okay. So, stream starts in 40 seconds. $30 seconds. 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so here we are at the coverage of UFC Fight Night Moicano versus Duncan. On to the main card right now. We will also reflect upon a fight card that happened earlier today, which was Deontay Wilder and the final boxing match of Derek Chisora. Now, going into that fight, everybody believed, well, I wouldn't say everybody, me per se in specifically, I believed that Deontay Wilder was going to lose this fight. I just thought Del Boy, Derek Chisora had better competition going into this, and then we realized that all Deontay Wilder had to do in this fight was fight guts, tenacity, durability, show a little bit of toughness. These are the things that he had to display in order to win tonight. And he did. Not only did he win, he did it in a way where it wasn't pretty, in a way where he had to fight tooth and nail. But by the end of it, he was victorious. And I don't think there's anything else that Deontay Wilder can prove at this point, right? I think this is one of those situations where it's a perfect exit for him to get up out of here. He's not going to do any better, nor will he do any worse than this. This is Deontay Wilder at his best in the latter stages of his career. If he was going to continue fighting from here on, it's only going to perpetuate into something much worse for him in the long run. I think it's better that he goes out on top tonight and he doesn't look back. That's what I think Deontay Wilder should do. Right? There's nothing else to look back on. There's nothing else to accomplish anymore. So whatever it is that he feels he needs to accomplish, I think he's already done what most people in the world could never do, which was have a knockout streak the way that he did, win world titles the way that he did. Not many people can say that they went to the Olympics and won a medal. Okay, that's one thing that we forget about Deontay Wilder. He's won a medal before. He's won a medal. He's won world championships. He's had an undefeated streak for whatever that's worth. A knockout streak to go along with that. You can't complain with a career like that. I just think that it's time to move on with the next phase of your life. And also to improve and enhance your way of life after all of this. Yeah, man, there's nothing left to prove for Wilder anymore. And I know that's not realistic, though. You want to know why? Because there's a whole wide range of people that they can match him up with right now. Okay, there's AJ. That's an attractive matchup. There's Usyk, right? Usyk has never fought Deontay Wilder. The thought of fighting Deontay Wilder excites him. It gives him a different motivation, a different reason to get up. Because that's sort of where Alexander Usyk is at in his career right now. So is Deontay Wilder. So is Anthony Joshua. These are guys that have won everything, almost everything, but to the comparison of the average man, they've won everything, okay? Regardless of whatever championships may be missing, or yachts, or lack of Bentleys, or whatever car collection that they should have in their garage, right? It's very hard to get these guys motivated. Unless, of course, you offer something different. For example, you have a card in May that's going to take place in Egypt. What do you notice about that card? Well, it's taking place in Egypt in front of the pyramids, and that's something new, something different, something exciting, something that breaks the monotony of what normal conventional boxing is, or where boxing or MMA sort of takes places, right? And then you have a kickboxing champion taking on a boxing champion. A guy who barely boxed at the highest level now is getting an opportunity at a title shot. All of this while we have this controversy of Jai Apataya being stripped of his IBF cruiserweight belt. And by the way, speaking of cruiserweight, there was a cruiserweight tonight by the name of Vidal Riley, who I think is going to be a big star in cruiserweight boxing. He was a trainer of KSI. On top of that, he has notoriety inside the space of social media influencers. on top of having a legitimate boxing career, a guy who has boxed his whole entire life, Team GB, national team, Olympian, Great Britain, natural fan base that comes along with him. There's a lot of good things to look forward to with Vidal Riley. But now he has an opportunity for the IBF belt. All of this commotion about Jai Apataya, yet they are giving a title shot. The WBC, the WBA, or whatever else other title Usyk is keeping right now, all of them are giving Rico Verhoeven a title shot. And I want you to imagine that. 13th Ninja Assassin says, Assalamu alaikum, brother, all the way from the UAE. Yes, I remember you, my man. He says, I hope you are well. Thank you. I know you're speaking on boxing, but can you share your thoughts on Khamzat and Sean? Man, we're going to talk about all of it. We're not just going to limit this into boxing, as you know, obviously. We're going to go into a wide range of different topics in terms of not just boxing, but also in terms of MMA. Yeah, man, literally everything. So we're going to talk about literally everything here. So hold on a second here. Okay, there we go. Just wanted to kind of brighten up my screen there a little bit. All right. All right. So far, Richie is getting dominated on the ground by Jandiroba. And this is sort of what I predicted going into this fight. So Sean and Khamzat Chimaev, I think that's going to be an easy fight for Khamzat Chimaev. The first round is going to dictate how the fight is going to go. If Sean Strickland can nullify a lot of what Khamzat is trying to throw at him with a spam of offense, constant shots, constant jabs, just constant forward motion, hurling towards Sean Strickland, how he's going to react to that, I think, is going to create the basis of this whole entire fight, right? Like, in other words, is it going to end early? We're going to know within the first 30 seconds. If he doesn't establish full-on dominance straight away, we know that we're going to be in for a long haul with this fight with Sean and Khamzat. That's my official prediction for it, but I think Khamzat ultimately is going to come out with a finish. I think he's going to come out with a finish, no doubt about it. So, yeah. All right, next round that we got right now, Jandiroba and Ricci right now. Yeah, man, just about a couple of fights left into this card. But obviously, I wanted to come into this card a little bit later, right? Covered the Deontay Wilder fight very early during the day. So, you know, here we are, man. There's Jandiroba again shooting in for that takedown. Takes Ricci down. Now, what's next for Derek Chisora? Obviously, Derek Chisora fought like this was his last time out, right? Like, he did not fight like there was going to be a next fight. And neither did Deontay Wilder. So I think Deontay Wilder really needs to sort of keep that in mind and realize his limit now. So all right, so Jandiroba maintaining top control position right now. All right, still maintaining top control position right now is Jandiroba. Yeah, man, maintaining this top control position right now by Jandiroba. Looks like she's trying to transition here, trying to scramble into a different position. All right, so still maintaining the top control position right now. Half guard position right now is Genderoba right on top of Richie. All right, raining down some elbows on the top right now by Genderoba. It looks like in this fight it's going to be a rinse and repeat where Genderoba takes her down over and over again. Oh, wow, what is that? A little bit of an up kick right there as they scrambled right back up on their feet. Oh, wow, Genderoba sat her down right there. Yeah, so we're literally in the co-main event right now, man. Yeah, earlier, Abdul Rahman Yakayev gets submission over Ribeiro. Prior to that, last minute knockout by Ethan Ewing. And then McMillan with a knockout. Jose Delano with a decision win. Yeah, man, I got a lot of these predictions correct so far, man. I said that Abdul Rahman Yakiev was going to get a submission or a finish at least. Yeah, Alice Pereira, I got that one right. The Trayshawn Gore one, I got that one wrong. Yeah, I underestimated him on that one. The Dion Barbosa, Melissa Gallo fight. Dion Barbosa, I got that one correct. Kai Kamaka, yeah, I got that one correct as well. So I got the Kai Kamaka fight correct. I got the Dion Barbosa fight correct. I got the Trayshawn Gore fight wrong. And I got the Alice Pereira fight correct. Darius Flowers, I picked him to win. Alessio Costa, I picked him to win. And yeah, man, I thought Guillermo Pat was going to win that one. Thomas Peterson ended up winning. All right, so we're up to round number 3 right now in the co-main event of the evening right now. Now here's Genderoba shooting in right now on Ricci. Ricci manages to maintain top control position right now. Right on top, full guard position. On top of the Bud Light sponsor logo on the mat. Okay, so Tabitha Ritchie trying to transition right here, trying to go for half guard position right here. Now they scramble. There's Jandaroba with a body lock position right up on top once again. Oh, looking for some kind of trip there. All right, some scrambling exchanges right here. By the way, guys, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Not only are we going to cover UFC Fight Night, we obviously just covered Deontay Wilder versus Derek Chisora. We're going to talk about World War III. We're also going to talk about UFC 327 as well. So stay tuned for that one. But we do have a main event coming up after this one. That should be a fun one. Jandaroba, 1-2 shot right at Ritchie. Faking a shot right there, looking to get a double leg. I want to see if there's any press conference with Deontay Wilder after the fact. Okay, so they did have a press conference. Wow, and just like that, AJ is the next guy that they're looking to fight next. Let's hear what he has to say here.
Thank you for your trust. Yes, brother. Oh man, I had a blast. I had an amazing time. I knew there was going to be a war, coming behind enemy lines, especially fighting Derek. When you're fighting Derek, you already know to prepare yourself because it's going to be a long night, especially if you don't knock him out. And it's just amazing. This is his 50th fight. This is my 50th fight. And what better way for him to retire within the Deontay Wilder, right here being at home as well. A lot of people ask him, do you believe he's retired? Yes, I do. He promised his wife and his children that he will. So why not believe that? You know what I mean? And look, the men have fought everybody. As a fighter, you can only wish to fight as many credible fighters as he have done. So why not be able to retire at this point in time? Even in the ring, I was thinking about his retirement. It was time that my team say, all right, this is time to push forward, put a little bit more pressure. But I held back a couple of times because when I cut his eye open, I started thinking about him being with his children. When I saw veins coming out of his temple.
You know what? That's really interesting that he said that, right? Really interesting that he said he spared Derek Chisora. You know what I mean? Look, here's a question with that, right? Is he coping with the fact that he couldn't finish him? Or is he really being genuine that he did not want to hurt him any further? You guys let me know on the comment section below. Either way, right? Either way. Is he exaggerating or is he telling the truth?
started thinking about, this is a dangerous sport. I felt a little sympathy for him. I even was talking to Derek, like, Derek, come on, bro. We need to stop this, man. We need to stop this. He didn't say nothing. Then I started saying it again. Come on, Derek. Then he said, you hit like a bitch. So,
there was a point in the fight, and I've seen clips. Did you say to him, I love you, and then you punched him, or did you say olive juice or elephant juice?
Yeah, I did tell him I love him.
You said, I love you, and then you threw that right hand.
Most definitely, because I truly do. When I say things to people, I truly mean it. And I think this just brought us even closer. Derek is a wonderful man outside of boxing. I look at him and I look at me, and and people get the perspective of me because of the certain things that I say, and maybe certain things I do in boxing, and they think they know who I am, and they judge me off of that. But I'm a beautiful man outside of boxing. I'm a wonderful man. I love people too much, and sometimes when you're too good, those are the people that get hurt the most, which had me in a.
Yeah, so what Deontay Wilder is basically saying right now is that he's a very emotional man, and as a result of that, he's very vulnerable, being that he's a very vulnerable and sensitive man. That's basically what he's trying to convey here.
In a place of I had to heal and get myself together. So, looking at Derek, he's a beautiful man outside of boxing. He'll do anything for you. And yeah, he play around a lot and he gets serious at times, but that's just him. That's his personality. And you gotta love somebody that's gonna be real with you. And it's just a beautiful moment. I'm happy to be able to share that ring with him.
Deontay, you mentioned that I was thinking about Derek in the ring. People have spoken about obviously your mentality in your recent fights compared to when you were WBC champion of the world. Is that element of thinking about Derek in the ring what's going to maybe hold you back?
Yeah, Genderoba just won by decision right now. No surprise there. I got that prediction correct as well. So I picked Moicano to win in the main event. Let me know who you guys think on the comment section below.
What some people would say for maybe going in there and doing what you did when you were champion?
Not at all, because I don't have that same relationship with everybody. It's slim to none. You don't really find those relationships. The next person that I have a relationship like that, or probably even more because I've been knowing him longer, is Malik Scott. That's my brother. So anybody else, I won't have no mercy on. I wouldn't think about that, and I probably wouldn't have held back so much if I didn't think about him being retired, going home with his kids as well. See, I'm a family man. I think about my children. I think about this dangerous sport that we're in,
Do you believe him? I don't know if I believe him or if he's just coping at the fact that he couldn't finish Derek.
And I sympathize for fighters, I'm an advocate for fighters as well, because once we're done, nobody give a fuck about us. Let's be real. Because there's 100 more guys lined up to take our position. Of course, many people, he was a hell of a fighter. And then some say they help out, but do you truly help out? I don't think so, because there's still fighters out there that's still begging for money. They can't speak. Some of them is on bed. Man, it's making me think about a certain fighter that now he got to be fed through a straw when he was the breadwinner of his family, and now it's.
Let me read this comment right here. Let's see. Abdul Rahim, he says, big up Kyrie, assalamu alaikum. You get everything correct in fights. Manchester City 4, Liverpool 0. I saw that, right? Sport and life. You're going to heaven, my brother. Respect, love, and support. You know everything. Thanks. Yeah, thank you for that, Abdul Rahim, man. Shout out to you, my man. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, man. Wow. What a score, man. What a score for Manchester City. But hey, it's what happens when you have the best players in the world, right? They signed Nascimento, and next thing you know, he scores as well, contributes in the club. Man, life couldn't get any better. UFC, Manchester City, boxing. All right, here we go. In the main event right now of the evening.
His place in the sun be eclipsed. For Chris Duncan, this isn't just a challenge against a teammate, it's a tipping point that could alter the trajectory of his career forever.
Wow, so these guys are teammates and are fighting each other, huh? Interesting.
Moicano, he made his UFC debut in 2014. He has become one of the best lightweights in the world.
My mission every time that I enter the octagon is to finish my opponent.
Oh, that'll do it, Renato! Buddy Moicano!
I think every fight is dangerous. I have been in UFC for 10 years and I never got an easy fight.
Not a guy you want on your neck! There's the test!
I want to send a message with this performance for the rest of the division. I'm still relevant.
This money Moicano.
And I'm old, but I'm still here.
He says, I'm old, but I'm still here, mother. Money Moicano is one of those dudes that's like a well-intended idiot. You know what I mean? Like, he's one of them. Chris Duncan. Chris Duncan from Scotland. Let's go, lad. You've got to represent for Scotland on this one. This nasty guillotine he's got going on there. He says, I am the problem. I'm problem by game, problem by nature. Yeah, man, I was surprised to find out that they were teammates as well.
I want to take him down and punch him in the face, try to take his back and finish him. This fight tonight
Teammates as well. I never saw that coming, man. Teammates. I never saw that coming, man. Teammates.
Other people are thinking, saying, doing. Still going to keep coming forward.
All right, there's another guillotine right there.
Of the lightweight division. Anybody who stands in front of me will fall.
Abdul Rahim says, you watching Tim Zhu and Dennis Norja and Moicano and Duncan. Moicano and Duncan right now. I didn't know Tim Zhu was fighting today. But thanks for telling me. I'll go check that out later, though. All right, we got a Wild West entrance going on right now. Or what is this? Oh, Scottish. Sorry, a bit of some Scottish music here. In honor of Chris Duncan and his Scottish heritage. Come on, let's go. Let's go, Chris Duncan. You're one of the lads. You've got to do this to one of the lads from Scotland. Abdul Rahim, Manchester City 4 versus 0, LFC. Holland, hat trick, and Semenyo. Yup. And they recently just signed Semenyo too, right? So it was like the perfect type of signing that they needed. Yeah, Wilder point wins versus Chisora, man. That fight could have gone either way, man. I would not be mad at a draw. I would not have been mad with a draw like that. And people forget, Derek Chisora is a hard go for anybody. But Deontay Wilder also reminded us why he's a former world champion. All right. Here's Chris Duncan right now walking out. Walking into the cage right now. Yeah, a win right here could set him to be the contender.
So much of it starts with him doing damage on the feet. He opens up the opportunities.
Yeah, Chris Duncan can definitely crack on the feet.
100%, but it's hard to start with him doing the damage, right? With him throwing those powerful shots. He's a bit unorthodox too.
That's sort of what makes him dangerous.
Lands, my God, you see his opponents react like, I don't want to get hit by this guy again.
And he's an emotional guy as well. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He's very raw. He's very honest. You know, I love everything about this guy.
All right. Here's Moicano walking out right now.
It's the fourth UFC main event appearance for Renato Moicano. Was originally scheduled to fight Brian Ortega at UFC 326 last month. Now facing a teammate in Chris Duncan.
Okay, that's an interesting question there, Abdul Rahim. The answer to the 5 prayers a day, yes. Also, can you explain how you know everything and winning in life, brother? Look, I think that if you have the thirst to seek knowledge, you're going to get it, right? Placing yourself at the right place at the right time. I think that's just what it really comes down to. Being able to place yourself at the right place and at the right time. That's the best way to really answer it in the most humbling way. Sure, yeah, man, why not? What's wrong with hard-boiled eggs? By the way, let me know what part of the world you're from, Future Clean.
Absolutely butchered him from start to finish. Did it to Brad Bedell. Drew Dover could win that. Destroyed Jalen Turner, as you mentioned.
By the way, let me know what part of the world you're... All right, so here we go, man. There's Moicano in the cage right now, and here's Duncan right now, man. They're set to be announced. Can't wait for this one. Guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's get this thing cracking. He says, I'm struggling to make friends because I speak the truth. They don't like it. And as you should, continue to speak the truth. No compromise in that. You heard Joshua Van pulled out? No way, dude. Are you for real? No way, dude. Could you confirm that? Did he actually, pulled out? Man, that would be an ultimate bummer, dude. You imagine if you really, pulled out? Jeez. He says, look it up. It's all over the internet. Okay, let's look it up. Okay, postponed till May. Okay, it was postponed to May. Okay. So you are right, man. Yeah, he did pull out in some kind of way. But what they did ultimately was set it up till May. Like basically just a small delay of some sort. He says, bad people make more friends, but people that are real to themselves hard to find friends. Facts. Yep. Man, really sad to hear that, man. You know, for Joshua Van pulling out like that. So according to MMA Fighting, Joshua Van out of 327 title fight with Tatsuro Taira. Okay. UFC flyweight champion Joshua Van is out of next week's 327 card in Miami due to undisclosed reasons. Multiple people with knowledge of the situation confirmed to MMA Fighting. The flyweight title bout is now set for 328, co-main eventing May 9th in Newark, New Jersey. Okay. All right, here we go, man. So, round number 1, main event, Chris Duncan versus Moicano. All right, here we go, man. Some low kicks by Chris Duncan here. Misses with a shot right there. Low kick once again by Duncan. Abdul Rahim asks, why do people play mind games, lie, play politics and friendships? I think it's just human nature that people try to get over anyone that they could, right? I think that has something to do with it. So, yeah. Abdul Rahim says game on. Yup. We got Moicano and Duncan going on right now. All right, so releasing from that. Yeah, Moicano's off to a great start right now. Ishla says, UFC really be slacking with their fight nights. Well, they got to give some guys some opportunities, right? I guess giving Moicano a headline like this is sort of a reward for saying yes to the Islam Makhachev fight. Yeah. They're doing favors for people now, I would assume. Body kick attempt by Chris Duncan. Moicano catches it, clinches, gets him right up against the cage with 2 minutes left. He says they need to pay the fighters and give health care. That's a start. That's a start for sure. Let's hear what Deontay Wilder had to say.
Opposite side around, you know, and this is what boxing does for you. And when it's done, nobody cares about you. So all those things went through my head, you know, in my mind of fighting him. You know, while being in a fight, knowing that he's dangerous, I'm thinking about this, and he's probably thinking about, I'm finna knock this motherfucker out, you know, and retire. But I'm thinking about, no, I want him to go home to his kids so he can still enjoy them, play with them, can talk to them, and do all other things.
Yeah, there's a different side of Wilder right there, the humanitarian.
As well, you know.
Deontay, what's your message to those that have doubted you over the past few years? Do you feel like
remind the world in the heavyweight division just who you are?
Like I said before, many people doubted me, many people counted me out, many people threw dirt on my name, but you can't throw dirt on someone that's chosen. I'm chosen, you know, and each and every time I step in the ring,
I'm chosen. So you now see that Wilder is going to have an even bigger Messiah complex going on now after this win. You see that I'm chosen. I'm chosen. You know what I mean? I'm chosen. Peep game on that.
each and every time I train, I'm getting better and better and better, getting myself together, you know. I am truly healed and I'm truly back. You know, many people have the story of me mistaken. People put narratives on me all the time and it's always wrong. You know, most of the half of the things, 98% of the things that's said about me is wrong, you know. People still going around the narrative that my wife or whatever, I only had one wife. That's it. Nobody else has been my wife. I haven't even proposed to anyone or anything, you know what I mean? So, you know, a lot of narratives are out about me to try to put me in a bad light. And, you know, I don't have the time to put out every fire that's lit about me. I don't care. You know, many times I can go on social media and, you know, I can, you know, make I can say many things, you know. I can go on there and talk about this and talk about that. I don't waste my time with that because I believe silence is golden. And I'd rather, if you say something about me, okay, I'm going to take that. I'm sitting back. I'm enjoying my children. I work and I go home to my children. That's it. I'm a working man. I'm a family man. I go home to my children. So, you know, with the doubters, you need the doubters as well, too. You need some motivation, some inspiration. And the doubters, the haters, they give you that. No matter what they say, it doesn't fade me. It doesn't bother me because I am living. We're in England, but I'm living the American dream.
How are you though, brother? Thank you, man. Everything's good, and yeah, shout out to Ishley for that one. Yeah, very good, my man. Abdul Rahim says some other YouTube channels talk about boxing and UFC are negative, tribal, and hate. Yeah, I mean, pretty much, right? You can't have boxing without that. But yeah, man, shout outs to Ishley right there. Are you City Projects by any chance? That sounds like his first name, Isha Lay or something, but let me know.
So I adapted up with him and I said, now let's get it on. And it was simple as that.
Is that a fight you want next, Deontay?
I'm ready for whoever, you know. It's whoever. As long as these guys is in the heavyweight division, I'm here.
Yeah, so Moicano had a bit of a combination there. As he was throwing that combination, he shoots in, gets scooted away by Chris. Now they're back squared up in the middle of the octagon right now, throwing hands with Chris Duncan, throwing some teep kicks, some body kicks right here.
You know, like I said, you can call me Mr. Clean because I want to clean up the whole division. The heavyweight division is nothing without Deontay Wilder. The character that I bring, the things that I say. What other fighter you know make things go viral? From the things that he say from different interviews and stuff, I don't know not one.
He says, you watching Fury versus Makhmudov? That's next week, right? He says, nope, that's not me, by the way. You pronounced it like Ishe. Oh, okay, got it, okay. Yeah, that's next week, right? The Fury Makhmudov fight, I believe. Now Moicano's looking to choke out Chris Duncan right here. Abdul Rahim says Fabio Wardley doing a lot of presenting the zone rather than concentrating on a Dubois fight. When is that fight? Victory, shout out to you, my man. Yes, I'm watching the main event right now. I'm actually, yeah, seeing Moicano on the ground right now. Body lock on Chris Duncan. Just as I had predicted that he was going to, you know, have the betterment of Chris Duncan here. He's just the, you know, more well-rounded fighter, the more experienced fighter at that. He says, yeah, I saw that Tommy Gunn kid. I saw the Tommy Gunn kid one. Oh, yeah. Tommy McMillan, yeah. And there it is, man. Moicano just scored a rear naked choke submission right here. Yeah, great submission. Okay, so there's a jab, follows up with a right hand, sits him down momentarily, snaps him down. After he snaps him down, boom. He goes down, looking for a hold of that neck, gets the back, locks in, a figure four body lock, was just pounding away from behind, and then sinks in that rear naked choke, man. You know, high-level operator. Yeah, Moicano won, yup. He's one of the Sugar guys, three-time Montana state champion. Wow, okay, Montana state wrestling champion. Okay, that's not an easy task. Left hook and submission, yup. How had Bisping's commentary been? You know what, surprisingly, when I do these reactions, I don't try to listen to the commentary as much, only because I want to come up with my own original ideas, right? I kind of don't want to be influenced by what they have going on, but yeah. All right, man, Moicano with the submission here. Yeah, man, a good sign of respect right there. He says, yeah, this is why this guy is top 10. Oh, wow. He said that the country is controlled by demons. Oh, my goodness.
Jesus is king. I don't follow constitution. I don't follow laws. I follow the Bible.
Oh, is that right? Oh, I don't follow laws. I don't follow constitution. I don't follow laws.
10 commandments. Be fucking loyal, motherfucker. Let's talk about the fight.
Oh, man, Paramount is not going to like that, man.
The low kicks, the striking was on point. Then the 1-2 left hook, and then, of course, submission as well. Is that how you thought this fight was going to go down?
No, to be honest, I gave my life to Jesus. I'm not fucking evangelical or something, but I feel Jesus in my heart, and I say, God, please, show me you real.
All the Bible thumpers are like, yo, he's so based, man.
And, you know, I fight one of the best ever, Islam Makhachev, and fuck, I didn't want to knock out Dariush, that's why he got away.
All you guys that are easily impressed, oh, he's so based. Oh my God, he's so based, man.
I love you guys, but fuck you, wow.
I love you guys, but fuck you, wow.
You're one of the top lightweights on the planet. Who do you want to fight next? Because that was a beautiful performance against a very dangerous guy. So who do you want to fight next?
You better give me somebody that is easy and you in the rankings. Otherwise, I'm going to fucking retire because I don't want to fucking fight the bullshit guy. I'm making a lot of money with YouTube. Follow me on YouTube, motherfuckers.
All right, well, there he is. Renato Ronnie Moicano!
Oh, man. Listen, sometimes, man, you know, low IQ takes are entertaining. He says Wilder got legs like Bambi. Yeah, he do, man. And you know what? Toxic gameplays, he didn't even look like he was trying to fight. You know what I mean? Like, he looked like he wasn't even trying to fight, man. So now that main event has ended, he says, follow me on YouTube, motherfucker. Yeah, man. He says swearing a lot and banning him on live TV. Yeah, I would imagine that Paramount is not going to be too happy about that, for sure, man. They're not going to be happy about that. All right, listen, guys. I want to tell you that Deontay Wilder needs to retire. Let's hear what he has to say here.
You need that type of character. Somebody that's real, somebody that's passionate about what he say, and unapologetic for what he say, because I feel what I say and I mean what I say. These are not emotions that I speak from. This is passion in my...
Toxic Gameplay says he said that he told Chisora in the later rounds, I need you to live for your kids, and it took it easy on him for the rest of the fight. Yup. Yeah, man.
Heart that I speak from. A lot of these guys are scared.
Contrast to him saying a couple of years ago that he wanted to unalive somebody in the ring, right?
Scared to speak about certain things, especially in just, you know, they're scared, but I am not. I'm not afraid, and a lot of people do things to stay relevant, but you know, all my accomplishments, most of my accomplishments have been set in stone within the statute, so I don't have to do much to stay relevant, because when I die, I'll always be remembered, no matter what.
Deontay, on it from a point ahead. It seems throughout the fight that you're...
Look, that's a very good point, right? Deontay Wilder is not going to be forgotten for a very long time, no matter how his career is going to go. So I think what he's going to do throughout his whole entire career is, I don't think he's going to improve. I don't think he's going to fight for a championship. I think that he'll have a Anthony Joshua fight. I think that if Usyk decides to pick him out of the, out of nowhere as a voluntary opponent, then so be it. But other than that, he'll never fight for a title again. He'll be in fun fights. And I think he sort of understands the realization of that.
Quite upset with the ref when he...
Oh, my goodness.
...counted him down against you, took a point off. That allowed Chisora to fight a bit dirty as well.
That's crazy. I mean, you're looking at, if the ref was fair, you're looking at a third round stoppage. It's so many things went on. I got hit in the back of the head like at least 10 to 12.
Yeah. Wilder was complaining about that during the fight, right? Getting hit in the back of the head multiple times. Toxic Gameplay says Wilder would have won way better. Would have been a way better boxer if he if he was a combination puncher. Dude only pauses jab and then throws the right hand. Yeah, it's almost like he's in love with that one technique, right? That one straight hand, you know, that he has knocked out a lot of people with. And it seems that that is his go-to every time. His comfortable go-to, his state of comfort in that ring. Abdul Rahim says, Wilder CV is padded, losing to Chang, Parker, and Fury twice. Victory says, he's not a boxer. Wilder, no, he's not. And you know what? That kind of tells you what is indicative of the heavyweight division. Because, look, this dude was an Olympian. I want you to think about that, right? Think of wrestling, going to the Olympics and wrestling and how hard that is. Deontay Wilder is equivalent to that in boxing. And yet, he really has nothing to show for it in terms of skills. Because it's like, all right, if you told me that Deontay Wilder grew up playing sports and that he was a brawler, which he is. He's a brawler. He's a guy with knockout power. He's a guy with athleticism. And if you told me he grew up fighting in the streets instead of fighting in the Olympics, I would believe you. Because he demonstrates that. He looks like he does exactly that. Victory says, bro, did you hear Wilder's interview with Piers Morgan? What he said about his... Yes, yes. I think Deontay Wilder has a poor choice in picking women. I think that's just indicative of what had happened in his life. I mean, you look at people, and you can tell this person's a gold digger. This person just wants to hang around because, you know, of X, Y, and Z, because of the fact that, you know, hey, you know, these group of guys have money, so they want to be around people with money. They want to be around people with fame. This is the type of person that he married. And Deontay Wilder, that's why he claims that he's a Christian. He claims that he's not about materialism or this and that, but yet the dude has a chain like a rapper, okay? On top of that, you know, really boasts about a lot of his, you know, charity. So he says with the women, they call him Deontay Wilder. Yeah, okay, that I see your little play on words there. Abdul Rahim says these people need to be humble people. Well, I tell you what, Tyson Fury humbled him at some point. Tyson Fury humbled him at some point, didn't he? But now, I don't know, man. He seems a little more unhinged than ever. So, I don't know. Yeah, man. Yeah, some good undercards they had earlier too, in the boxing event. You know, some good undercards there. Obviously, the Vidal Riley fight was really good. I really enjoyed that one. Right, as I told you guys, that's a rising star in the cruiserweight division right now. So, you know, somebody to look out for sure.
Squaring off tonight in our main event are not the Moicano taking on Chris Duncan in the lightweight division. Alan, walk us through it.
Let's see here. Okay, yeah, let's get back to what
Different time. And then you want to, then when I finally want to retaliate and hit back, you point fingers at me, Deontay. I'm like, man, this man keep hitting me in the back of the head. I'm getting dizzy at times, but I'm bouncing back. I'm getting dizzy, but I'm bouncing back. You know how many fighters got hit in the head and don't wake up tomorrow? That's why I might not even go to sleep tonight, because of the awareness of the awareness of getting hit in the back of the head, and you not waking up tomorrow, or something happening, or something forming. I feel good.
Wow, man, he said he's not even going to go to sleep tonight because he got hit in the back of the head. And, yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, is that going to help, right? If you get hit in the back of the head and you decide to not sleep tonight, is that going to help, or is that going to hinder if you decide to go to sleep? I mean, you know, kind of an interesting theory he's taken here.
Externally, but internally, something may be developing inside of me that I can't see right now, because a referee decided to allow something to happen that it shouldn't have happened. That was one of the things the referee asked, do we have questions? And Shelly brought it to his attention. That was one of the things we warned him to not do. It's allowed.
He says they got a video of Wilder saying, "I'm sorry, I love you," before throwing a right hand at Chisora. Yeah, I mean, Wilder, look, for as goofy and as strange as he is, I mean, he's a dangerous guy by the end of the day, right? You know, and he's a dangerous guy with a lot of emotions, and that's just really what that tells me right there. Victory says, here he goes again. Oh, you're talking about Wilder? Toxic Gameplay says, with the romance. He says, yeah, that's true. He says, especially the goofy part. Yup.
Him to hit me in the back of the head. And then it's supposed to have been a disqualification because his team ran up in the ring. I mean, damn, I'm fighting Derek and the referee. I'm like, it's crazy, you know?
So, okay, 1 second.
What did you think about the Wilder's fight? So, the way that I saw the fight from the very beginning, right, there was a lot of clinching going on because I think it was very deliberate by Derek Chisora. What he was trying to do was wear out Wilder. What surprised me was from the first 3-4 rounds, Wilder did not have the wits and all to try and create space away from Derek Chisora, work his range, right? Be the 6'7" man that he is in this fight. He says he did great, but I think he's washed. Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment to make. Wilder's choice of words is strange, yes. Wilder versus Chisora wasn't a good fight. Yes, Abdul Rahim, I would have to agree with you only because Deontay Wilder could have done more to use his range. And the reason why he decided to not use his range is because he is comfortable with throwing straight shots, close range shots at times, power shots, right? When you're used to all of these things, you don't think about the small steps, right? Getting your jab out there, using your jab to gauge your distance. Because if you notice, man, Derek just walked up on him. And we wondered, what is up with the shape of Derek Chisora into this fight? Was he putting on weight for a grand reason? Now we found out what that grand reason was. He wanted to blanket Deontay Wilder. Because if he blanketed him, it would give him a chance to not only tire him out, but also keep him away from his firepower. But it was Derek Chisora that was throwing a whole lot of firepower going on here, right? He looked like a really young, vibrant fighter, especially being that Derek Chisora, I believe, is the older fighter here. Emily says, I thought it was a good fight. Yes. Abdul Rahim says, Wilder hasn't improved. He was saying he knew and improved Wilder. What improved? Yeah, a whole lot of hesitation is for what I noticed. Wilder all about the right hand, not boxing abilities. Because that's the thing. He falls in love with that one motion, right? Fall in love with that motion is going to keep you away from experimenting or trying different ways to get in there. Wilder has been a one-trick pony since the Olympics. Yes, toxic gameplays. I will agree to that. And you got to understand, winning the bronze medal, I think you will destroy him. Yeah. Anybody with good lateral movement, I think, has a shot, right? He says, I think Joshua will destroy him. Yeah. I think anybody with forward motion, anybody that's willing to throw a certain level of volume. And you know what, man, him and Joshua had a little bit of an interaction going on tonight. You know, they passed each other at the hallways of the O2 Arena. A bit of their rivalry coming back once again, man. Right here. This is
Big respect. Let's do it. Come down. Let's do it. Let's do it. Do it.
I say why not? I say why not, right? We've been wanting to see these guys fight for almost a decade now, right? There was a point where both of these guys were undefeated, and all of a sudden, he took on Tyson Fury. All of a sudden, he took on Andy Ruiz, and all of a sudden, we just thought, you know what? There's other matchups that we can see. Abdul Rahim says, will we see Joshua versus Fury or Joshua versus Wilder? Or has the ship sailed onto the sunset? I tell you what, it is Anthony Joshua who won the whole entire thing right now, okay? Let me tell you why Anthony Joshua is in the best position out of all these heavyweights right now. He had a great career for someone that started at 20 years old. Yes, That's a very good point right there. That is a very good point. Anthony Joshua started very old in boxing. Now look, I've seen a lot of Anthony Joshuas in the MMA world, right? Guys that are 20 years old, 19 years old, never had an athletic career, never had an athletic endeavor in their life, and all of a sudden, you know, they start boxing. The thing is, in boxing, it's not like MMA. We got a lot of guys in MMA that started in their 20s, right? Early 20s, late 20s. Very few MMA fighters we run across today that started in their teens. I mean, there's a lot, but put it like this. In boxing, it is more prominent for somebody to start in their early young age, because that ultimately is what makes them elite. Okay, that is what makes the Lomachenko's, that is what makes the Andre Wards. These guys started very young, right? Same thing in wrestling, right? What creates elite wrestling are guys that started at a very young age, not guys that just decided, hey, you know what, I want to pick up high school wrestling. You know, you got a lot to catch up at that point. Victory says, yeah, Wilder started late too. Yes, Wilder started at 20 years old, Toxic Gameplay says. Victory says Wilder was older, I believe. Okay, yes. I'm actually talking about Wilder. He started at 20. Joshua started at 18. Yes, okay. Victory says DC started at 32. Well, here's the thing, right? Did he really start at 32, considering that he did a martial art that encompasses 85% of MMA? Right? It's sort of like he is the equivalent of a Lomachenko in boxing. Yes, in boxing, you have to start very young. That is true. That is true, especially if you want to be elite. Victory says, you're right. He was 20. Says only heavyweights get away by starting late. Correct. And that is why we have Anthony Joshua starting late. That is why we have Francis Ngannou starting late. Abdul Rahim says Usyk did it the right way. Amateurs, Olympics, cruiserweight, and heavyweight. Yeah, man. Yeah. Very decorated career he had going on. A very decorated career. And, you know, ultimately, that is how you want to do it. You want to do it like that. Victory says, I don't know if it's 85%. We've seen tons of high-level wrestlers that suck at MMA. Okay. Yeah, I would say so. But you know what? For those guys that strike, like in order for them to show that striking, they have to have a little bit of wrestling. Like, for example, why is it that we don't see Max Holloway get Charles Oliveira every other fight? Because not a lot of guys have, you know, good enough wrestling to keep him down. But if they do, then, you know, his striking is not going to enhance his showcase of skills. Victory says, putting it all together with grappling, defense, and striking is a big deal. Yes. Sonny Liston, my favorite heavyweight, started late when he was in prison. Yes. I think Bernard Hopkins has a very similar story to that. Obviously, Bernard Hopkins went to prison, got out of prison. After getting out of prison, then all of a sudden he got into the pros, and yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of guys that came straight out of prison stories, if you really think about it, right? Who do we have in MMA that's like that? Fresh, I would say Sean Strickland, obviously, is an example of that. LaRon Murphy is an example of that. In the Fight Night Champions game, they really emphasized that one. Bernard Hopkins was boxing before that. He's lying. Yeah. You can't deny that. Yeah. He was obviously boxing, you know, way before that, and that is the reason why he was able to showcase a certain level of skills, even in, let's say, the prison boxing system. He says, yeah, I love the Undisputed movie with Wesley Snipes. Yeah, very interesting concept, right? You got a guy right here who is the heavyweight champion of the world, played by Ving Rhames, and then he gets locked up in the same cell as, well, a prison legend, a guy that everybody said, you know what, he would have gotten a shot. He would have been the best of all time had he not committed a crime, right? You know, there's a lot of guys out there that are like that, right? There's a lot of guys out there that can play ball better than Kobe Bryant ever could, maybe even better than Michael Jordan ever could, but for whatever reason, they never got the grades to play college basketball, and as a result, they never got to get put through that tunnel or that funnel system of the NCAA to the NBA draft. So they never got that chance. So that's why that Undisputed movie that you talk about is, pretty interesting. He says he started taking it more serious in prison. Yeah, I can see that. Right? Where when he was outside, he was probably worried about X, Y, and Z, trying to make ends meet, trying to live a life of crime, whatever that may be, doing whatever it is that he needs to do to survive. But once he was in prison, he realized, you know what, maybe I could do something with this. Maybe I could do something serious with this where, you know what, if I train really hard in here, evolve myself, evolve my skills, maybe I'll have a shot at a career and maybe even a world championship when I get out, right? He says, do you like Dagestan and the region fighters? Of course, man. Fellow Muslim brothers, why not? Abdul Rahim says, what do you think of Shamaya versus Strickland? I think that it's a fight where wrestling is going to matter the most. It is going to matter the most in terms of Khamzat dictating it. They say that it is the wrestler who controls the pace of the fight. That's what they say. They say that the wrestlers are the ones that control the pace of the fight. The wrestlers are the ones that dictate the pace of the fight. This is so true for the Khamzat Chimaev fight because everything that we're going to analyze, we're going to look through the lens of whether Khamzat Chimaev could take down Sean Strickland. So let's run through a series of scenarios in our minds with that, right? Could he take down Sean Strickland? Yes. And if he does, what's going to happen? Two things. He's either going to stay there, accumulate ground control time, or eventually put Sean in a precarious situation where he gets submitted, he gets choked, or gets lured into one or two of those types of submissions. Heavyweights get away by starting late because heavyweight division rely on God-gifted power a lot. Very true. Yes, very true. There are ways to mitigate those powers, right? Obviously, what Derek Chisora did tonight, all the wrestling, all the blanketing that he was doing on Deontay Wilder, all of that was designed to get him tired. That's what it was designed to do. It was designed to get him tired. Abdul Rahim says Mayweather let up and coming take over the boxing scene. He's coming to take over the boxing scene. I mean, I think Mayweather has already taken over the boxing scene. What exactly do you mean? Like, do you mean taking it over again or becoming a powerhouse player again? Like, let me know what you mean by that. Is it true that Mayweather is going broke? Yes, it is. It is. He's going broke. And the thing is that a lot of people don't want to believe that. I'm going to tell you why. There's a bit of a racial component to it. And this is going to get really interesting, okay? I'm talking about the people that defend Jay-Z, right? I told you guys I got into it with a dude because I made a video about Jay-Z and he was offended by it because he's like, well, how dare you insult our black king, right? A black king to you, a guy that probably doesn't even care about your life, doesn't care about what happens to you, right? And then you somehow use that as a way of, oh yeah, I'm so proud of Jay-Z because he give black people jobs or this, that, and the other. Yeah, but he ain't giving you the job. You know what I mean? Like, that's what the, come on, man. You know, so going back to Mayweather, he's got the same type of defenders. And let me explain why. Mayweather, to a lot of people that are proud to be black or people that are, you know, very proud of their heritage, they look at him as a symbol of their supremacy. And let's be honest, as combat sports enthusiasts, we do it too. You don't know how many times, every time Khamzat, Islam, Khabib, Omar Nurmagomedov, Usman Nurmagomedov win a fight, we use that as a way to catapult our propaganda. Well, we're better because our lifestyle is better. We don't use drugs. We live a healthy life. We live a conservative life. And ultimately, that is what makes us, you know, better fighters, healthier people, healthier lifestyles overall, right? This is what we do. But it's a tribal thing by the end of the day, and I recognize it. But at the same time, you also got to recognize it when other people are doing it. So the idea and nullifying the idea that Floyd Mayweather is broke, okay, is part of that whole protective code thing. Okay, you got to stay on code, brother. You got to stay on code. Yeah, Mayweather, man, you know, he employed a lot of black people, man. You know, Mayweather, he employed a lot of them black. And you know what? Maybe there is some truth to that. I'm not denying that, right? Because, man, let me tell you guys something, right? When I'm here to give you guys a story, I'm not here to give you good guys versus bad guys because none of that exists. What I know and what I understand the world to be is a world of complexities. Okay, people are complex human beings. Some people, they are good people to other people, and then some people are just completely evil people to some people. And you have to understand the variations and the realities behind that. That's just what it is. There are people out there that are problematic, okay, but then there are people out there that are useful to other people. And that is what Mayweather is in a nutshell. So, is he broke? Yes, he is. Now, let's get to the reason why he's broke. Believe it or not, the reason why he's broke is actually the complete opposite of Manny Pacquiao. He's broke as well. Floyd is broke because he spent all of his career, all of his life, living this persona of being the money man, and eventually all of that gets dried out. All of that lifestyle gets dried out. Okay, that's just the reality of it. Manny Pacquiao, on the other hand, he's broke because he is the quintessential example of giving away too much. There is nothing wrong with helping people, but it gets to the point where you're not helping yourself, and I would hypothesize that this is where Manny Pacquiao has gone wrong. I think that he's done a lot of good for his community. He's done a lot of good for his family. But here's the thing. I think Manny Pacquiao really messed up by giving way too much to people that are, quite frankly, undeserving. You know what I mean? Like, I know that's going to, you know, catch a lot of heat from a lot of people, but you cannot feed a whole entire country with a salary of a fighter. And I don't care if you're one of the richest fighters in the world, you cannot pay the GDP of a country through your fight salary. Now, I'm not saying that's what he attempted to do, but what I will say is that Manny Pacquiao is a very generous man in terms of the charity that he has given forth in the past. Alexandre says, you really are American. When you talk, there is no enagus. I listen American, very good American English. Thank you. Says, I saw Floyd and Mayweather in Bellagio, Las Vegas casino twice. The way him and his friends spend money like nothing, it's ridiculous. I'm not surprised he's going broke. There you go. There you go. See, even yourself, who's seen this man in the streets of Las Vegas, outright see your own anecdotal experience of how this guy gets down. Ali Khan says Wilder won his boxing fight. Indeed he did. Yup. Indeed he did. Indeed he did. So, a lesson learned for Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. The two ends of the extreme. Giving away too much and also boasting way too much and spending way too much. Sometimes beyond your means. And sometimes he does it to impress a lot of people. I mean, you said it right here. You know, it's him and his boys that are spending all of this money. Well, I don't know if some of his boys have money like him or who these guys are. If you don't know them, chances are they're just hang-arounds, right? You know, Floyd gives him a stack here. Here you go. Here's a couple of, you know, bands. Go out and try to win some money in a casino type of thing. Or, you know, if you're smart, you would just keep it. You know, like, yeah, thanks, Floyd. You know what I mean? I could use this, you know, a couple of these grands right here to, you know, pay off some bills. Yeah, they were around 20 cars, Ferraris, Rolls Royces, Lamborghinis. That was ridiculous. Who does that? Floyd. I mean, all those cars are probably his, right? The chances that, you know, those are his boys' cars or whatever. I mean, maybe, right? If they are, you know, some rappers that you may not know about. But, you know, Floyd is not one of those guys that's going to hang out with rappers that nobody knows or anything like that. You know, he's not going to go hang out with a rapper from Michigan or from New Jersey where he's originally from to try and uplift them or promote them. He's the guy that will hang out with Justin Bieber straight off the gate, right? Hey, Justin Bieber, you're popping. You're, you know, doing it. You know what I mean? You're a world-renowned name. So I'm just going to go with you in terms of doing photo ops, this and that, right? Because you're the known name. You know what I mean? You're the guy that's well-known. So, you know, jump straight into the well-known. He's not, yeah, one of those guys that's, you know, really trying to uplift his boys from the hood or anything like that. You know what I mean? You know, if he even grew up hood at all. You know, but obviously that's going to have varying opinions on that particular matter. But yeah, guys, that's the reality of people. That's the reality of Floyd Mayweather. That's the reality of Manny Pacquiao. You are dealing with complicated individuals, right? They do some things that are good and then some things that are, quite frankly, questionable. Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. So even with all of the boasting that Floyd Mayweather does, we also can't forget this man has also provided a life for many people. Okay? Has provided a life for people that needed it. Provided jobs for people. Gave people opportunities. We can't forget that. But we also have a saying in Islam that goes, we judge by what is the apparent. And apparently, Floyd is a jackass, okay, in terms of being an over boastful, greedy, glutton for money. He says his kids are actually very respectful, very humble. Okay, doesn't surprise me, obviously. I was surprised how someone like Floyd raised those kids. Those kids are well-mannered kids. Especially the older one is very respectful. I can tell you why. I can tell you why that wouldn't surprise me, right? The reason why that doesn't surprise me is because I know that Floyd plays a character. You look at Colby Covington in the recent times, right? Colby Covington literally came out and said, guys, I play a character online. Don't get mad at me. I play a character. He admitted it. He admitted that he played a character. Okay? And guess what? There's a lot of guys out there, if you've ever talked to anybody that has trained in ATT or people that have been around Colby Covington in his early days in Oregon when he was training with Chael Sonnen, they all say the same thing. He's a very humble kid, very helpful, goes out of his way to help people. And I don't think that Floyd is any different. And this is what I mean, guys, is that human beings have higher complexities of variations. And we don't live in a world of black and white, good versus evil. Okay? For example, I'll give you an example. I watched the documentary about the London bombing back in 2005, right? These are like one of the favorite the type of documentaries I love. I love documentaries that take place in the mid-2000s, okay? Because as you know, obviously, that was, I wouldn't say prime years, but I mean, I suppose if you are in your early 20s, that would be your prime years. And you know that during those times, that was the War on Terror era, right? So anything that deals with that time frame, highly, highly interested in it, right? So the London bombing, they profiled the suicide bombers that were involved, okay? What are the most common things that people always say about suicide bombers or terrorists or people that commit serious, atrocious acts against humanity? Shout out to Mark Haney, ADD gang in the house, my man. Shout out to my northern partner, Mark Haney in the house, man. Shout out to you, bro. So going back to what I was saying, right? What is the common thing that they say about, these terrorists? They say, well, he was a nice guy. He was a great neighbor. He loved his children, loved his family. And here's the thing. A lot of people are shocked when they hear this. Oh, what? What do you mean a terrorist has a family? Yeah, they have a family. Oh, what? What do you mean a terrorist was a nice guy? Yeah, they are nice guys. Yes, because even though they are Islamic extremist terrorists, you also have to understand there's a component in Islam that teaches you to be kind. So even though they commit atrocious acts against humanity and commit terrorism against humanity, you also have to understand that there's also another side of Islam that encompasses kindness, that encompasses humility, right? And Abdul Rahim says everyone has two sides. DDG is very respectful too off the camera. I don't know if you're familiar with their YouTuber DDG. A lot of these people play a character. You're right. Let's see who that person is. DDG. Let me see if I'm familiar with that person. Okay, so that's a rapper. Okay, Daryl Dwayne Granberry. Okay, so he's a rap dude. Okay, from Michigan. Interesting. DDG is an American rapper, singer, songwriter, entrepreneur. He first found fame at YouTube as a content creator in high school and college. Okay. Later transitioned into a successful music career. DDG's music blends melodic rap themes of self-made success, independence, ambition, often reflecting his own journey from online content creation to mainstream recognition. Okay. All right, so we've got some tour dates right here. Okay, he's going to be in Detroit, Chicago, and New York. All right. So him being a streamer, yeah, I don't know much about him, but thank you for putting me up on game, with him, obviously. This is one of the things that I like to do is, obviously, if you're an older gentleman, you want to keep up with the new trends that are going on right now, especially if you're on YouTube, right? You want to keep up with these young kids. This is what you have to do. You have to keep up with these trends. You got to know who DDG is. You got to know who Drewski is. Well, obviously, I know who Drewski is because You know, that guy kind of encompasses the gang world, right? He kind of encompasses the music world, right, which is somewhat tied to the gang world. But yeah, you know, yeah, it's good to know all of these new people, right? You know, just to be in the know of these things. So, you know, I always appreciate you guys coming in here and you know, and dropping you know, these new people, you know, that that I never heard about, right? So, you know, really interesting character right here, Daryl Dwayne Granberry. So that's where the DDG name comes from. Abdul Rahim says, in this world, there are no fake people in real life, and in the internet, it's all an act. Correct. Correct. It's all an act. Look, so going back to a little bit of some LA gang politics right now, right? So obviously Draco the Ruler, right? A lot of people are coming out right now saying that they are now revealing the unaliver of Draco the Ruler, which, by the way, they are citing towards No Jumper host Munchie B and then rapper YG, who are all part of a blood gang, right? From different cities, obviously. YG comes from the Compton Treetop set of, you know, of the Bloods, and obviously Munchie B comes from the Inglewood side of the Bloods. And Draco was obviously allegedly, well, not allegedly, I mean, we know this for a fact, was stabbed to death because he made a song that forced the hand of a whole entire city. He basically dissed a whole entire city, generalizing his enemies rather than going specifically at one person or the other. Yeah, as he says, at Abdul Ibrahim, yeah, a lot of these famous people are fake. Yes, yes, because look, you got to understand also too, right? You also have to create a certain persona. You have to create a certain persona that's going to garner attention. And sometimes normal, look, let me explain to you why acting normal is not enough, okay? I'm going to explain to you why. Acting normal is not enough because you need to understand that everybody in your daily life is normal, okay? When you go to work, everybody is normal because everybody has to play by the rules. Everybody has to be cordial. When you go to the mosque, obviously everyone is normal. When you go to church, everyone is normal because they're all on their best behavior. Why would you do anything less, right? When you are in the airplane, okay, you definitely have to be on your best behavior. I definitely have to be on my best behavior. And if you're a person of color and you're driving, you better be on your best behavior because you know what and you know who will pull you over and check you out for X, Y, and Z, right? That's just what we know in the modern world, the norms that we have to take. Well, guess what? Here's the thing, right? All of that is normal because all of that is the status quo. All of that is what's expected. Now, I want you to imagine somebody doing something highly unexpected at a company banquet. All right, you're at a corporate party. Everybody's all squared away. Everybody's trying to prevent themselves from making, you know, the wrong type of joke. Oh, you say the wrong joke, you know, the boss isn't going to like you, you know, and they're going to kick you up out of here. Okay? All of a sudden, one guy comes out of nowhere and busts out a joke that is completely just unhinged and completely unexpected, out of the left blue field. And you're like, wow, okay, I didn't expect him to say that. Okay, well now this party is livened up a little bit. But in reality, maybe you are that person. Maybe you are a person that exhibits a certain type of behavior. Maybe you're a person that exhibits a certain type of exuberance, a certain type of charisma, personality, a certain type of energy. Maybe you are that person. But then you start realizing, you know what? This emotive language, this provocative action does something. Okay? It makes people do something. It's called pushing buttons. And then you start realizing, I do this action and X, Y, and Z happens. X amount of views, X amount of people appearing on the chats, X amount of attention. So now there's a formula. Then that's when it becomes fake. 900 says, when I'm in Las Vegas, I always go to Bellagio's casino. You will see a lot of these famous people there. A lot of them act different in real life. Huh, that's interesting. I'm curious to know which one you had run across or anything like that. NMF says, are you part of the Iran party by chance? You know what? Very ignorant of you to ask that, considering the fact that I don't have a mustache. And for you to ask me if I'm part of Iran and I don't have a mustache, kind of tells me you don't really know a lot about geopolitics, right? Like you don't understand the difference between Sunnis and Shias, or I don't know, maybe you just think I'm some Amish guy that's on YouTube or something, and you're like wondering, all right, well, you know, I don't know if he's a Muslim or not, or if he's Amish, or, you know, what's up with that, but yeah. Anyways, he says, my bad, I was just joking around. No problem, man. Let me know what part of the world you are from, MNF, right? First time I've seen you here before. Let me know what part. I'm from Sacramento, California, to be exact.
If any or all of you want to look up the rules, 1.
All right, man. Well, shout outs from Puerto Rico. Are you living in Puerto Rico, or are you actually just from Puerto Rico but live elsewhere in the United States? Let me know.
If your corner enters the ring, it's an automatic disqualification. Number 2, if you're pushed, knocked out of the ring, you have 20 seconds to get in. You are not allowed to be helped by your corner. 3, if you get hit and you're falling and you grab the rope, it's an automatic 8 count. 4,
okay, I got you, my man. Shout out to you. So what we're listening right now is Harry Finkel explaining all of the details as to how Derek Chisora should have been disqualified tonight. He says, are you watching boxing? Is there another matchup that's going on right now? Or are you talking about the Deontay Wilder fight, to which I am currently covering right now, by the way?
If you get hit after it's stopped, it's up to the discretion of the ref to take a point off. He takes it off him, but he doesn't treat fair. Number 5, when Derek went back and touched side, the ref, that's not allowed. You either stop the fight or you don't interfere. These are rules of the game, and they can be checked. And I'm glad my guy won, because I was afraid he was going to get robbed.
Yeah. That stopped you fighting in the UK again?
What's that again?
We love the people here.
Well, the bald guy, the MMA guy, is always there. Who are you talking about, the bald MMA guy? Are you talking about Dana White, or are you talking about a fighter, or are you talking about... yeah, have a good night as well, MF. Shout out to you, and much love to everybody in Puerto Rico. He says Joe Rogan or Dana White. Okay, you're asking which bald guy you're talking about. Okay.
That reasoning there,
No, it wouldn't. You know, I mean, one bad apple don't spoil the show. You know, won't spoil the show for me. You know, I love coming over here where some of the best fans in the world is. You know, this is it's like this.
Okay, yeah, the Dana guy. Yeah. I don't think he was here tonight. Was he in the UFC tonight? Let me see if there's a press conference of him on tonight. Yeah, usually he does these press conferences after the fight, man. Even, I tell you what, man, even if a fight is boring or not good, or, you know, doesn't really have any interesting or compelling matchups, Dana White always makes these press conferences fun nowadays. Let me see if he did one earlier. No, he didn't. I don't think he did. No. Did he do one? No. Dana White? No. No Dana White yet. Okay. There's no Dana White yet at the press conference. Okay, yeah, let's just continue on with the Deontay Wilder press conference.
Second sport, you know, for boxing. I mean, this is second sport. here, which I call it a business.
Yeah, so it looks like he probably was not here tonight for the UFC fight. Yeah. I don't know if he'll be there for the Conor Ben fight also. Yeah, he loves the casinos. Oh, okay, yeah, because he's always a regular in the Vegas casinos as well. Yes, correct.
As everyone else calls.
You know, he's a rich guy, right? A rich guy who, I mean, he needs to feel something at this point of his life, right? So how do you feel something at this point of your life? Well, what you have to do is you have to go out and take risks. You got to go out and gamble, and you know, and that's what it is.
Of the sport, because I know the truth behind the closed doors of what goes on. So, you know, they love boxing. It's the second nature sport. In America, it's like the 7th or 8th. So why not be able to come somewhere where boxing is loved? I would love to come here. You know, we just, you know, when you get certain referees, it just, I don't know, you know, it just, you know, it's a scary thing. You know, it's a scary. That's why a lot of these fighters.
Highly noted. You have to go to the Bellagio Casino, man. That's a place for network. Yeah, highly noted. You know, although obviously as a Muslim, you know, it's not really a place that I can, you know, just go and partake in, or, you know, or this and that. But yeah, I'm sure, you know, around the hotels of Las Vegas, sure, you know, that's something I could look into.
You know, get on certain drugs to put in their body to do things that their bodies don't supposed to do, because they're afraid not only of getting robbed by referees and stuff, but again, they thinking the other fighters are cheating as well and things getting away. They're getting away with a lot of things, especially being in a home, having home advantage, you know. But I don't let those things get in my mind. You know, I really love this sport, you know, and being in this sport, I saw a lot of evil in the amateurs, and it opened my eyes to a lot of things, and I understand things is gonna happen. You know, I just hope and pray that the boxing commission, the people, do something about these things. That referee shouldn't be able to ref again. That's just my honest.
He says, you will meet a lot of great people that will help take your business to another level. Okay, highly noted.
Opinion. You know, how many times I got hit in the back of the head, and, you know, I mentioned a mouthpiece, which I have today, which is the Zeus mouthpiece. It allows me to absorb certain punches. It allows me to line, you know, my mouth is lined up together, and that's why I was able to take certain punches and stuff. And, you know, I told people to check it out. You know, it's xe/us.com. If you want to know more about this, I think every professional should have one of these mouthpieces, you know, and it helps other people out, runners. You know, if you're an athlete, you're doing a lot of things, lifting weights or whatever. This is the new technology for mouthpieces right here. I'm telling you. That's why I was able to absorb a lot of this punching and do a lot of things. I had a lot of good. I had a great time up in the ring, and I'm looking to have more fun.
Jack.
Okay, so I'm 21 years old. It's a bit easier for me, but you will find your way there too. Okay, highly noted. All right, so what we will do right now is go over the whole entire card for UFC's Moicano versus Duncan right now, and we're going to start from the very top of the card right now. So from the very top all the way to the prelims, okay? So let's see here. All right. So rear naked choke, second round submission by Moicano, knocks down Duncan. Obviously, after knocking down Duncan, takes the back. After taking the back, wraps his legs figure four style right around the body. And the next thing you know, he's arm fighting Chris Duncan, gets a submission at the end of it. So the stats on this fight: 73% strikes for Moicano, right? Very highly accurate, right, in the way that he was picking his shots, right? 45% for Duncan, and one takedown from Moicano. Obviously, he proved overall that he was the better ground fighter in this one, and that was all she wrote for that one. Moicano was bound to win that one, just a much more experienced fighter. On top of that, a guy that has been there with some high-level guys, indicative of the type of names that he's been in there with. RDA, Islam Makhachev. What's a Chris Duncan night going to do for him? Verna Jandaraba taking on Tabitha Ritchie. This is exactly how I predicted this fight was going to be. I predicted that Jinder Mahal was going to use the wrestling. That's exactly what she did. On top of that, 70% strikes, 40% on the significant side of things, 6 out of 12 in her takedowns. Okay, and then ground control time on top of that. Just the constant ground control time she had going on. Abdul Rahman Yakayev taking on Brenson Ribeiro. Okay, so all the takedowns were on the side of Yakayev, and he got a rear naked choke on Brenson Ribeiro as well, man, in the first round. Okay, and then Ewing gets a third round stoppage. Okay, with literally just half left on the third and final round, right? Left hook to the liver. That was all she wrote. Finished the fight. Tommy McMillan gets a first round knockout. Punches and knees. Finishes Manolo. Jose Delano gets a unanimous decision. Okay, let's take a look at the stats on this fight right here. No takedowns, just a striking affair, right? Jose Delano's striking was on point, 65%. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, no takedowns, just straight up striking. Yeah, Jose wins that one. Going to the prelims. We got Thomas Peterson gets a decision on this one. I really thought Pat was going to win this one. Pat's a big dude, man. But obviously, the relentless takedown attempts of Tom Peterson had something to do with it. Also, just the striking was on his side. Alessandro Costa, second round finish right here. Left hook to the liver as well. Okay, gets a left hook to the liver in the second round. And then Darius Flowers gets a TKO hammer fist in the second round. And then Alice Pereira, knee and TKO in the second round. Submission, technical submission by Trayshawn Gore. This was an upset right here. This right here, Trayshawn Gore was an upset. I was not expecting Trayshawn Gore to win this one. Yeah, I did not expect Trayshawn Gore to win this one, man. I really didn't. But you know what? That's how this game is, man. We expect the unexpected. He was on such a losing streak, right? The type of losing streak that I would have never imagined or believed that he was going to have a chance in heck of winning this. But he did. Gets a submission, a guillotine, and then going back down, we have Kai Kamaka split decision against Dakota Hope. I sort of predicted that one. I predicted that fight, exactly how that was going to go. No, the Kai Kamaka fight. I predicted the Kai Kamaka fight is exactly that. I just thought that Kai was the much more experienced guy. Victory says, have you heard from Zane? No. I was going to call him, but, you know, different time zones. You know how that goes. Surprise, he hasn't been on here with you sweating out the fight. LOL. Maybe he hasn't been gambling, you know, and that's probably a good thing. So Kai Kamaka's percentage was a reason why he won this fight. What else? What else was on this fight? Dion Barbosa gets a decision win over Gato. Right, a couple of takedowns on this fight. Melissa Gato, yeah. So that's about it, man. Yeah, man. Any bonuses for the night? Let's see if they had any bonuses for the night here. Let's see here. Okay, right, let's see if they offered any bonuses. Okay, so Renato Moicano secured a $100,000 performance of the night after defeating Chris tonight. Who else? Gendera, for her dominant performance, gets 25. Ewing McMillan gets an extra 25. Alessandro Costa gets an extra 25. Alice Pereira, Trayshawn Gore gets an extra 25. So, yeah, man. All right. So they are paying up some bonuses tonight, from what it seems. So, there it is, man. All right. So, back to Deontay Wilder, because obviously I think that fight was the bigger fight tonight than, than anything else. So, let's get back to what he's talking about here.
Say that again? Not my ribs, but I think I may have broken my hand, or maybe have a small fracture in it. I'm able to move it, I done broke it so many times, I know what it feels like and know what it looks like. It maybe it's just a little bit swollen, but it may have a little small fracture. So when I get back home, we will do x-rays and stuff and see how it is, and this is why I wanted to come. I had a specific glove that I designed and I made and stuff, and there was a lot of different situations with the gloves and stuff.
Yo, it was so funny the way that he went at Simon Jordan. He's like, "What are you talking about? I have the facts." You know what I mean? Like he just looked like a complete madman. Like a madman that nobody believed. Like, what are you talking about? I saw an alien. I know he cheated on that fight. I have the facts. And it's like, well, what facts, Deontay? You know what I mean? Like, what? Oh, my goodness, man. Oh, my goodness. It says all the fancy places you go to, all the countries that you post on IG, you definitely don't met. Yeah, dude, man, this sounds like, a whole lot of stalking going on here. But anyways, yeah.
Because I've been in this situation. This is my 50th fight. I done broke this hand so many different times and still have to fight inside of the ring. And nobody understands what it feels like to risk your life. And then when you're disabled in certain areas to still have to carry on with the fight, it's crazy, but we're warriors, and we love doing this, and the drilling be so high in the ring, you really don't feel it. But I think I hit him on the top of the head one time, and I started shaking my hand, and that's when it happened, But I had to carry on. I couldn't cry. I couldn't go. This ain't tag. This ain't no tag team, and I don't have no substitutes. Okay. So I had to suck it up and deal with it. And once everything wore down, I said, "Oh shit!" I started feeling my hand. I started feeling.
What you mean, man? I have the facts. I have the facts. Oh my goodness, bro! I can never get that Simon Jordan. Yo, you know what, man? Simon Jordan. Listen, all right. From now on, let's keep Deontay Wilder away from old white British dudes, okay? Because for whatever reason, old white British dudes trigger Deontay Wilder. What are you talking about, man? I have the facts.
In the back of my head, the multiples of punches that have been hitting in the back of the head.
I did see a few of those shots, though. Those back of the head shots from Chisora. Yeah, he did throw a couple of those in there.
I'm feeling a lot of other different things, but I'm just gonna pray, ask God for mercy, and
yeah. Can we just? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead,
just, the last two questions. That's
sure. That's fine.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Could you please depict us or show us what that smile was basically showing?
It was a lot of emotions of feeling I'm back. I'm having fun.
I hope so.
This is the 50th fight for me. This is the 50th fight for my brother. And it's just an honor to be in the ring with him. It was an honor to be in the O2, finally put my name, in the chapters of the book. For us, fighting in this arena, it was a lot of bro. Fight on the
Yes.
ML Pro, the best promotion
Yes.
in business.
And
And I
I
say
become
that, and I
37
mean
years
it.
old, you know.
And I say that because
It's not that I don't want to fight up.
Let's hear Moicano real quick.
But the business is, I'm doing stuff outside too, YouTube, and I'm making money outside too. So it needs to be, the guy needs to be, at least has some hype, you know? Because look, Chris Duncan, I took that fight because I was like a 2 fights kid. But he's not famous, nobody know him, you know? These Apex cards, this Apex card was fucking shit. I don't
Wow.
listen to that. But you having Moicano as a main event in fucking Apex, you kidding me, you know? And who is fucking Chris Duncan, brother? That fight doesn't add to my career, doesn't add to my YouTube, you know? So I think it should be like a fight that I can promote, like Ortega, like Paddy Pimblett, like Dan Hooker.
Yo, this dude on the chat, man.
Maybe Benoit Saint-Denis, maybe somebody, you know, somebody that the fans know. That's what I'm saying, you know. There is a lot of guys that are very good, but nobody know them. And it's not, and everybody can win and everybody can lose. It's not about winning and losing. It's about it to get them.
Moderators, write simp on the next comment, please.
Most hype, people talking about you because this is the business. And then you have some upcomers that nobody know their name and they're very dangerous. I don't think that's smart.
So, Renato, over here, congrats. During post-fight, post-fight show, you were talking about Dan Hooker, easy money, Benoit Saint-Denis, easy money, and Paddy Pimblett, easy money. Which one of them would be the easiest money for you?
I think Dan Hooker, because the style, but Paddy Pimblett is a fight that
That would be a good fight. Him and Dan Hooker would be a good fight, though.
he's famous. You know, remember what I was saying about hype? He has hype and he's famous. But I don't think UFC gonna put me to fight Paddy Pimblett. But one thing that I want to say is the last time
Brother, you're a simp for one, you're a simp for all.
I was saying just easy money, but actually I respect Paddy Pimblett because he made a war against Justin Gaethje.
Which one is your favorite fight of all time? What's my favorite fight of all time? I'll go with Rory McDonald and Robbie Lawler. I think that was one of my favorite fights.
That's not easy, but still, imagine Paddy against Topuria, you know, it's other level, you know. So any of those guys, even Benoit Saint-Denis, even Ortega, you know, I want to fight big names and easy fights, easy money.
Okay, and would you say that Paddy is still as precious name as before the title fight, or would it give you more in your career, for example, to fight Benoit while he's on the rise again?
I think Paddy Pimblett will be better because he has more name than Benoit Saint-Denis. I beat Benoit Saint-Denis once and I can do again, you know? Because he's not that good. That's the truth. That's the truth. I know people... You watch his fight against Dan Hooker, that was a fucking terrible fight. You know, he's not good at all. And maybe he can... People say that I was lucky in Paris, but I can beat him up again and be on the
It says mine is Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz. Okay.
top 5.
The part 2 one. Okay.
Fucking
Says Canelo versus Triple G 1 and 2 was a war. Ooh, yeah, that was a good one too. Yup.
Yes, I don't.
And the last one from me. During the same post-fight show, you were talking about the whole top 10, and you said jokingly that apparently you are fighting your teammates so you can fight Mateusz Gamrot as well, but then you added that was a joke. So I wonder, what's the difference between, for example, Chris Duncan and your relationship with Mateusz?
No, I know Mateusz since the beginning, you know, since when I got in America in 2018, we have been training together. I would never fight Mateusz Gamrot because he would beat me.
Thank you.
Renato, your rant post-fight was maybe the most epic rant I've heard in the cage. Were you planning on these things to say, or were you just caught up in the moment?
No, I never played. I don't even know if
I wish they were the same age. Yup.
I'm gonna win. How am I gonna play? I just go for that fight and then say whatever comes to my mind.
Who are your top 3 fuck yous?
Fuck you.
Your top 3 things that are your fuck you list?
What you mean by that? My English is not that sophisticated.
Like you said the government.
Fuck the government, brother. That's 100%. In every country of the world, you have to realize that, man, all the institutions all over the world are decaying. You know, all institutions and people don't feel represented by people that are elected, you know. But fuck politics because this war is from the evil. We saw that in Epstein files, everybody everybody that's high profile is the same off. They are all fucking Satanists, but you guys know that. So that's why I say.
So he's saying that everyone is a Satanist. He says, I'm not big on the UFC. I try to watch it. It's too boring for me. Man, well, you know, strokes for different folks, right?
Don't care about government, don't care about politics, care about your salvation. And your salvation is Jesus Christ. So, fuck the government.
Just one more here. I saw you express your
Moicano speaking his mind.
thoughts on the card tonight and the talent that was on display today. So, if it was up to you, it seems like you're leaning towards wanting a fight with Patty, and obviously a big name like that. I'm not sure if you go to Brazil. Maybe it's something like an international fight week or something. So, if we talk to matchmaker Moicano, where do you think that fight should be, and who would you like to be on the card with?
I want to fight in Brazil, especially because I have been hearing that they're gonna do 2 UFCs in Brazil this year, and probably it's not gonna be a number event, So if it's gonna be a number event, of course, will be Charles Oliveira.
All right, we'll get back to Moicano and Deontay Wilder. Let's hear what Derek Chisora had to say earlier tonight, because I'm sure Derek Chisora had some pretty choice words, at the end of the press conference. Here's Deontay Wilder and him right now in the back. Okay, it's a bit of some backstage stuff right here. Oh, wow, Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua confront each other. Let's see this.
Seconds out.
There was a Brazilian guy that my father loved to watch. He was very entertaining, but that's about it. Brazilian guy. I think you mean Anderson Silva, maybe?
Sponsored by Jen.
Love that.
By the way, Anderson Silva is now a sworn police officer for Beverly Hills PD. A little fun fact there.
What did you think? Main event? What did you think? Entertaining. I thought Wilder won 2 or 3 rounds. Good fight.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with that comment right there. Yeah, Deontay Wilder got another to take his money. Yes, so Wilder is that type of guy that comes across as somebody who is somewhat of a simp. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just what it really comes down to. He falls for it every time. Because, look, he's a very emotional guy. And I think that plays into being vulnerable in a lot of ways, a lot of different ways. All right, let's hear what Derek Chisora had to say. And then let's go over the card. What did he say in the press conference? He says, yeah, he is like that vinegar guy. Yes, exactly. Very similar to that. All right, let's hear what Derek Chisora had to say here.
And Chase has supported me from the beginning.
Is Mad Honey legal? Just take a little teaspoon. Just get in there. I will take a little teaspoon. You go first. Okay. Yeah.
All right, let's hear what Derek Chisora had to say here.
After watching back, I'll let you know. He's fucking set up.
Don't come to my house anymore. Huh? He likes to hold it all. I thought he was very good inside, but he was not good inside. You like to hold it all.
Personality, he's a commentator. Whatever he does, he's entertaining. Yeah. This fight tonight, well, it wasn't a world title fight. It's done fantastic numbers, box office wise.
So the full O2. He's knocked out.
Well, he won lots of medals.
No, I didn't win.
What about people that can do a change and he can win some fight?
Daddy's
What
always...
about that?
How about that Easter egg hug we're going to do tomorrow?
Go on, sing for us. Sing for Daddy.
No.
Okay, let's go.
Eric, can I get a reaction to your walkout? Can you talk me through, stood on the ramp, what was going through your head, the whole O2?
I was like, fuck. Here I go again. I said, what am I doing here? But you know, I'll be honest with you, I'm tired now. I can't do it anymore. You know, when you know it's time, it's just time. You know, I've had a great career. You know, I always say, boxing opens doors and it opens legs as well.
All right, so pretty wise words of Derek Chisora there, right? He said that, you know what, he knows that he's done for it, he's calling it a day. Look, this fight right here, it's almost like it didn't matter. It didn't matter that he lost, okay? It's like he had won. They gave him like a 50th fight belt to commemorate this day, as, I mean, you could call it like a participation trophy, but nonetheless, Derek is in this stage of his career right now, or in the latter stages of his career, where he is an entertainer, right? He's not fighting for belts, not fighting for championships. He's merely just fighting for the sake of entertainment, being there, being in fun fights, right? Doesn't really matter whether, you know, it doesn't really matter whether he is fighting for championships or contenders or #1 spots or anything like that. So, as for Deontay Wilder, this is what I'm going to say, okay? As I'm going to close off giving you guys the results, okay? This is what I got to say about Deontay Wilder, okay? These are the results that we have in front of us right now. So he won by split decision, right? I think that it is time for him to go and split, okay? It is time for him to go and split. Split decision win, go and split, because I got to tell you, Deontay Wilder, it's not going to get any better than this. The Anthony Joshua fight is risky, but if you leave right now, you can leave with your head intact and go out with a win. If you want to challenge yourself, go out and try Anthony Joshua. But right now, if I can give an honest assessment, I don't know if he wins that matchup. But he did win tonight. Split decision, split your way up out of here. So let's take a look at the results tonight. Okay, Deontay Wilder defeats Derek Chisora, split decision. Vidal Riley, unanimous decision against Masterneck. Masterneck, this was his 57th fight. He went into this fight 50-6, okay? Denzel Bentley gets a 7th round knockout for the British. I believe this was a world title, a WBO world title. Matty Harris gets a TKO in the 2nd round. Amir Anderson gets an 8th round TKO. The former MVP fighter Ashton Sylvie gets a unanimous decision against Tony Galvez. And Delayo defeats Jake Morgan. Dan Toward defeats De Vega. Tom Wellen defeats Morales. So there you go, man. That is it for the night right there, man. I hope you guys enjoyed the fights, and yeah, like what I said, right? I'm gonna leave it off with a little bit of a monologue, okay? Man, I'm telling you, this game, it goes by really quickly, okay? It goes by very quickly. And you never know when these guys are going to leave, so sometimes you gotta appreciate them while they're here, because you can't fight forever. And sometimes you gotta know when to quit. Tonight, that was a great choice for Derek Chisora. Now, Deontay Wilder needs to make the same choice. And with that in mind, that is my choice to retire this for the night, but I will be back with more videos in the future, inshallah.